But yeah, man, there's so many things that we all went through, and like even like
Yeah.
look at now, like Faze took literally everything that we did from back in the day and made himself a very well known promoter in the city. Like it one of the first, like literally, like I think I was, and then Faze, especially us two, but me and no, just us two at the time. Not a lot of guys, especially artists, and this is one part we didn't get into. We kind of had to bully our way into this shit. Like no one at the time was giving out free shows or booking shows. And like if you're going to a hip hop show back in like 2007, you're most likely going to like, a Wu-Tang show with your openers. Like
Yeah.
there's not a lot, like I'm telling you, there was next to zero
There was nothing.
promoters.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone booking hip hop artists to do local shows with all just locals. It just wasn't happening. And I was one of the first to do it out in the burbs. And when I went to school and I met Faze, and then we two promoters slash MCs together, it was a deadly combo. And literally Faze single-handedly pretty much knocked his way through every brick wall the city could put up. And until this day, so some of the biggest shows, for me it was my Street Beats one. I packed that one 300 plus in a hall with
Legendary shit.
Legendary, like in Maple Ridge or in Pit Meadows.
People don't realize, like,
in Pit Meadows,
now,
now
it's a lot of promoters doing shows. It was not like that before. There was nobody doing shit.
There wasn't, and I honest, I'm your bro, and I mean this, and like cheers to this too. And you were one of, if not the best hip hop promoter in the city's ever seen. The fairest, the most organized.
There's a few artists that won't agree with you.
Yeah, but that's fine. But that's okay. But at the time,
hopefully there are some that will. Hopefully.
No, but I mean at that time.
Yeah.
To be handing out, like, you got to remember, we were this is, unless you still had a MySpace account. Like this is like you don't spit your liquor.
Wow, we just dated this fucking podcast.
Like
MySpace.
Follow
me.
That's what I mean. Like, so unless
come on, Tom.
Back then there wasn't Facebook. 2007 was the creation of Facebook, and I didn't even want to go on it. I laughed at it. I was like, I ain't going on this at first. I thought it was funny, right? So, and there wasn't YouTube. Yeah. So for us to be at that level and to be packing shows at that rate within the city at the level we were at, it just wasn't happening. No one was doing it. Snack wasn't out yet.
Nobody was doing
Merc
it.
wasn't out yet. Evil was big. Like Evil and the Crew was big.
Yeah.
Concise and Checkmate. Right? Rascals, Swollen Members, Sweatshop Union. Yeah. And then in the underground, it was us, Keep Six. And we were like the heavyweights of the underground at the time. And if you ask anyone at the time, we were pulling some big shows. And there's lots of other guys. Shout out Emotions. Mm-hmm. Shout out to tons of other guys who at that time were, in my eyes, even above me. I looked up to them. But when we came through with
Cannabis and them were doing
when we came big things. Cannabis was bigger than in my head. I looked up to him still.
Yeah, I learned
he had songs with Corrupt. He had those videos. He had his own store that we would go and visit. Shout out to Eastside Urban Wear.
For sure. I remember I used to just go there.
Just for hours. See, that's a good stuff to get into right there.
For sure.
Cannabis
He's always been like
a hub for hip hop music.
Yeah.
Before us, and to be able to go to a store and just chop it up with someone in the scene and in it, and not only Cannabis. Man, shout out.
Him and his brothers.
They would put your CDs. They had a section for CDs. Yeah. And when you wanted local CDs, you know where I'd go? I'd go to Cannabis' shop and buy whoever's the local. Because that's how I couldn't get my hands on it at any other way.
Yeah.
Sometimes I didn't even know these guys. And if I did, I didn't know when to meet them or how to meet them because there was no internet.
Definitely.
And unless you had a phone number, you weren't getting these copies. When I see them at Cannabis's or these East Side smoke shops that they had back in the day, that was like a real staple pinnacle. I don't think people really understand how important that was for the city, especially us, to have a hub.
I spent so much time there, bro.
How many hours?
Him and his brothers
chopping up for hours,
were
man.
always like super nice to us. keep
I
it.
know.
Just let us hang out in the store.
Shout out to both the bros half.
Sometimes I would just like ask them questions, just learn about shit. Sometimes I just hang around and listen to conversations you have with other people.
Right?
Just eavesdrop and just learn some shit.
Half the time,
you know
DZ would be in there.
Yeah.
I swear, DZ
buy some
would
shirts every now and then, get some Amsterdam gear.
all the time.
All that shit, dude.
I literally made it a purpose when I go there. I have money.
Yeah.
So when I go there, I buy something like respect because I like their stuff.
Yeah.
And then when we're chopping it up, I'm like, I'm not just like coming to just talk sometimes too. I'm actually supporting. I'm buying stuff. And I'd always try to do cash because then they can have it. They don't, you're right? You're like.
No, I'm sure they always reported it.
Yeah. No, but you know, I just try to be up as front. And,
it's okay, statute limitations. It's done now.
But that was a really cool time. And
it was.
And I literally remember, I'll never forget this. So right when I met you, I think I even invited you. You might have came. So we had the show in the Capitol in Richmond with I booked Prophecy and the East Infection and Driz and a bunch of guys. And we had, like I said, there's no, I don't think I ever told you this. There was no, like I said, no internet. So at the same time, this is when, around the same time you went down to Dipped and ran into Method Man. Yeah. Me and Adam, we knew, what's the guy, the Def Jam owner again? Russell Simmons was going to be in town. Oh. So we went down to Dipped.
You did tell me that.
And we went down there, and we went in and we gave him a Natural Talent shirt and said Godfather of hip hop on it. And then
you made it especially for him.
And and DZ slid his CD in the pocket.
Not surprised.
So when he got his, and he smiled, and he's like, oh, he was like, he wasn't even mad, Russell. Yeah. He was actually enthused.
Like, that's kind of smart.
Because we gave him a shirt. Slick. We're not just, everyone always wants things. So any advice to anyone, this is one thing. When you're going to approach an artist or a business person or someone you want to work with, don't come up and be like expecting things or too much time. Short and sweet.
Oh my God, yeah.
Really short and sweet. Like if you can do the minimalist introduction, and if anything, maybe try to give him something. Like, hey, and that was why Russell really was happy because we gave him a shirt with his name printed on it that we did ourselves. Right? We took the time to do that.
Specifically made
very
for him.
Specific.
It's not just like,
he was like that was it made his day. Like and you could tell. He was tired. But anyway, I think it might have even been the same day. And then me and Adam, we had all our Natural Talent shirts on, all with they like fire, remember? Fire on the top.
Yeah, I remember that
shit. My God, the first edition Natural Talent shirt. But it had the things and our names on the back and whatever. And then we literally, I remember it being sunny and we stood right around the corner from Dip.
Yeah.
And we had about 300 to 500 flyers that we had to do. We had a printing guy that we had back then, Printing Press Media. Yeah. It was like a guy right on 2nd and Main or something. I hooked you up with him too at some point.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there. It's freaking raining, bro. And I'm
thought it was sunny.
No, but that's what I mean. Like it was nice, but like at one point, like
I mean that sounds like Vancouver.
Like that's what I mean. Like I just remember. I do remember. Like I was in shorts. Like I was literally like this, just a shirt, shorts, and all I remember we had music up. We handed out all the flyers, but that's the thing back then. Like you had to get on the streets. Like there wasn't like Facebook where you just create a group. Like you literally had to physically get out there, and back then, none of these people would still come to the shows.
Dude,
who's gonna come from downtown? But that's what it was all about, the grind, and like
for sure.
And it was standing in the rain. Like I literally was standing in the rain. I'll never forget. I started getting grumpy, and I'm in the rain, and it was getting really windy, and I'm at almost my wits after hours here, and I'm like, but that's the determination of how far and I was willing to go. I would literally
not everyone's doing that shit.
Name one rapper right now in this time that even knows about handing flyers at a corner. It's not even in their vocab because now we have Facebook. It's fine. I'm not taking anything away. I'm just saying at that point, completely different time.
Yeah.
So in 2007, like again, when we're doing these moves,
we're putting the work.
It's unprecedented at the time because it's just there's not a lot of guys on the caliber, and
Yeah.
you know, there was, and I named some again, and I really looked up to Prev, and we became friends with him later on in life. You know, crazy, same thing with Alibaba. How I used to look up to Alibaba. I used to listen to him on the radio, and then
Yeah, for sure.
he's coaching us, and I'm like, whoa, this is crazy.
Definitely.
But again, all this hard work put in, standing in the flyers, going to audio engineering school, pushing the limits, not knowing if you're going to succeed or not. I didn't know I was going to meet you. I had no idea any of this was even possible, but I believed in myself.
Right?
And I told myself, and I told my mom, I'm going to like, watch me do this. I'm going to go back to the city one day. I'm going to start a group.
Yeah.
And I'll be back. I literally would say these things. I'm like, I'm going to go back to the city. I'm going to go be in a group or start a group, and we're going to get signed, and it's going to happen, and watch. And within 2 years,
it happened.
Everything happened. Yeah. To the T. Yeah. Almost crazy. Man.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Literally
everything. It's not even that much time, too.
No. And it was within the same year, right before I went to college. I was like calling this out, telling Diz, telling all the guys, watch what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
And everyone, even some of my friends who knew I'm from Burnaby, I always said I'll be back one day. It's like it's where my heart's from. You know, I love Burnaby. Yeah. A lot of
we shout it out all the time.
Yeah, shout out to Burnaby. We too the Burnaby best. Right? Yeah, we are the Burnaby boys in rap. And you know, and we had a lot of good times too. And shout out to the old Asylum days. We had tons. We would literally go in. We have like 30 freaking rappers, all in one place at one time. DZ Day. DZ would have these DZ days.
Yeah.
Like, and everyone would come in, and it was just like, it was
so many tracks. Like, they just play a beat, and whoever wanted to hop on, just hop on. Everyone, that's how it would happen. If you weren't in the studio that day, you weren't on the song.
That's exactly, you know what I mean? That's why you go to the studio all the time.
You go there, and you would just like play a beat, like, oh, you want to hop on this?
That's how most of our shit.
And you literally walk in, record it, and walk out. That's it. And no play. You didn't know that morning you were going to be on that song. You just go there. Like, you don't know who's going to be there. You don't know what beats are going to be played. Sometimes nothing would happen. Sometimes 5 songs might happen. You never know what the fuck's going to. You just got to be there. And you never know what happens. You know what I mean?
It was just a melting pot of talent. And it's like I'm not saying it was like the Minors, because it wasn't by any stretch at the time. But this was like really like all these awesome MCs coming together. It's like scrimmage. Yeah. We're coming together, playing against each other in a professional like competition, but not exactly. All pushing each other. Everyone, you're doing dope. And literally, because of all that melting pot scrimmages and stuff, like we all just started to shine on our own. Dude, because I remember literally there's so many sessions there,
I was writing a track,
probably 100 or more minimum.
I remember one time I was in there, and it was just me and Shantos were just like, he was on the board, and I think he had a track playing that I'm pretty sure I brought it in, and I was just like finishing up my verse, and I'm like, I'm just gonna lay this down, and I'm like, all right, I know this shit already, I'm just gonna go in. So I went in the booth. The mic is facing. There was that glass, so you could see through it, right? And you could see inside the studio.
Yeah.
But the mic was facing towards the wall, so my back was towards the window, right, towards Shanda. So I couldn't see out. I'm just in the booth. But I walked in and no one's in there. So I go in. He gets my levels, whatever. It's like okay. He turns on the beat. I go in. I fucking killed the verse. Nice. One take, smoked it, right? I turn around, there's 10 people on the other side like, yo, that was a crazy verse, Faze, what the fuck? I'm like, where did you guys all come from? I'm like, what the fuck?
It's like darkness.
They're like, yo, what the fuck was that? They played it back, they're like, this is nuts, what the
Shout out to the boys, too.
I was like, yo, it was such a dope feeling because I smoked that verse, first take. And like everybody heard it, and I'm like, I don't even know whether they weren't there when I walked in.
Yeah, and that's
and I walked out, and everyone's like, "Yo, they all dabbed me up and shit." And I'm like, "Yo, this is fucking dope."
It was notorious for those type of things.
Yeah, it was so funny though.
Same thing.
But that was like just the hangout spot, like that. We would just go, and show up, and just see whatever happens. We used to have parties there, dude. We used to have wild parties, wild yo, parties. We can't even talk about that. We can't even talk about.
We'd have some like literally we would record all the way till the light would come up. Sometimes I would literally wait till the SkyTrain would open. To leave.
Dude, there was some crazy nights
there, I wouldn't say I ever spent the night because I don't think I slept.
No.
We would just record all the time.
Yeah.
And I'm not joking, and I know it sounds like I'm being exaggerating. I'm not joking. There was literally 20 rappers. Like,
yeah, for sure.
I could...
It looks like most of these rap shows now.
Like...
where all these rappers are just rapping for other rappers.
Los,
that was
RC, Will... Like everyone.
Yeah, guys
like,
that are rapping now.
So many. My buddy, who else?
There was so many.
Oh, it's like there's so many people. I can't even. Some people have passed away, and some are still here, and it was just really good times. It was like that was still in the time when we were transitioning and getting into the majors at the same time, because we were still every time when we were still doing our professional stuff and on the label, and whether they did it or not, and I'll give it that we were. I don't think they wanted us to have the control to do all those songs that we're doing on the side.
Yeah.
But it's what made all the good stuff. Like all our best stuff stemmed from our homegrown songs we wrote on our beats.
Yeah.
And
no, for sure.
Like literally.
Sure. It's funny, but just going back to what you said, because when I was pouring the drink, what you were saying about promoters and shit. Like how it wasn't like how it is now.
No,
so
bro.
many promoters
Dude,
are putting on shows.
Like me and you, but you took what I did and ran with it and made it. But
for sure, you were doing shows before I was. I didn't even know about shows. Like
I don't even.
And think about it. Like I didn't even want to be a promoter. Even I don't want to be a promoter. Like, I'm not a promoter.
No, but we couldn't get booked.
We couldn't get booked, so I had to become one. Literally started a production entertainment company. I started Elite Player Entertainment just so. But that's the thing. I got access. And I would put the group on.
That's the thing.
But then eventually I would do other shows and I wouldn't even perform. I'm just putting all the other local. But that was kind of like my way of like giving back to the scene too, right? It's like, oh, we don't have anybody doing the shit. I'll become the guy.
For sure.
And now you all can come to me and I can book all this shit, right? So it's like now, like it's funny because I see some of these artists and I'm like, they want to be on the show. And then I tell them, okay, this is what we're going to do. And like sometimes they might like not fuck with it. And they'll be like, Faze, you're not the only promoter in the city, blah, blah, blah. Like, give me attitude. And I'm like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah.
And not even saying it's just me. Like, it was you. Emotions was huge into that. Like, he was doing it before 100%. I was, too. Like, there was a lot of other people. But I was definitely one of them. No, so it was like, yeah, cool. Like, great. Like, they're like, I don't know. It's just like, yeah, you're welcome. Because that shit was not happening before. We didn't have anyone to go to.
No, man. I'm telling you.
People complain about promoters. Oh, they're charging this and they're doing that. It's like, all right, well, fucking do something about it then. Go do your own show. You were doing your own shows.
I did.
You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Like, I couldn't get access. So fucking I started working, going there. I got access. Then when we want to do shows, fucking here. Let's do a show now. Now we have access to it. And we can run it the way we want to. So when artists now are like, oh, the promoter wants this. They want to charge, blah, blah. All right, cool. So start going out. Make connections. Yeah, get access to the venue, and then fucking do a show. And you can run it exactly how you want to if you can make that connection.
Good advice for any MCs or any talent or singers. If you can't even get booked sometimes.
People just complain. And do something about it.
That's exactly right. If you're probably dope as fuck. You have all the good music, mastering, mixing, you have the look, everything. Sometimes people have a real hard time struggling with getting. Now it's actually easier, but if you can't find your way into getting booked or someone, you can book yourself. It's not that hard. It does take a lot of work. It's complicated.
It's a lot easier now.
But when you totally, and back then, again, like,
back then it was like impossible. Dude, to get a Friday, Saturday night at like prime time, 12 o'clock,
I don't know.
Impossible.
This guy was wrestling alligators to get Friday nights for us.
Dude,
literally.
I used to get, and see, that's the thing. I kind of like.
I don't know how you got some of those shows. I still to this day was baffled on some like.
That's also because I kind of don't want to bog down the artists with all that kind of stuff, so I kind of shield them from that side. I don't tell them. They just think they're getting a show. They're walking like, yo, I got a Friday night, midnight, blah, blah. They don't realize how much fucking work I did to even get that spot. Arguing the promoters don't want them there. The club owners don't want them there. Nobody fucking wants them there.
We have to argue, with these guys. Argue to get the artist on. And then the artists argue with you about the time. Oh, the time.
Because these are my connections. They're giving me the stage, right? I'm passing it on to this artist that they have no fucking idea. And they're like, okay, he can do like 7 minutes. It's like, no, I'm going to give him like 15. Like, bro, no way. We're 300 people in the club. They're not going to know who the fuck this guy is. We don't need him in there. I'm like, bro, it's going to be dope for the artist. Like, trust me. Like, he'll bring some people, blah, blah, blah. And then if he doesn't, right, he'll like give me shit or whatever, or he'll leave. But then I get yelled at after, right? And then I got to fucking deal with the promoters and the owners or whatever, right? But like, that's part of it. And that's like stuff that I had to deal with all that. Sometimes they kill it, sometimes they don't. Either way, it all falls on me.
Yeah.
Right? But I have to keep maintaining those connections and build those relationships, and I'm doing all that fucking work. So then when the artist comes through and gives me shit,
Yeah.
I feel weird. I'm just like, yo, like you have, but also they don't know because they've never done it.
No,
They just think they have a free venue.
I mean. I know. And
I have artists coming through like, yo, I want like a section and get a bottle and all this shit. I'm like, bro, you're lucky you get the stage. Like, you're lucky you have a microphone in your hand right now. You're lucky they're letting you walk in.
Yeah.
Like, you want a fucking free bottle and free this and free that? Like, bro, what are you talking about? You're performing at a club on a Friday night at like peak time. Make something of it. Bring a video crew. Get footage. Stay around. Network. Build some connections. You know, make this shit worth it for you. If you're doing the show for free. See, that's the thing. A lot of the serious artists, I've never had that problem. They've never complained about that shit because they know what it is.
Yeah, well,
all the serious artists have gone through this shit. Merc has gone through it. Junk has gone through it. Emotion, Snag, they've all done this stuff. Cannabis, they've all done this stuff.
If
they would never fucking argue.
At some point, they've had to be.
You earn your name, right?
If we're before getting booked, to be into the.
Nobody just starts and gets like a set rate and VIP everything.
No,
like, you gotta put in the fucking work, right?
man, for like at least 5 years.
So when I see artists come in now, I have no idea who the fuck they are. They have no name. They can't sell a ticket, and then they get mad because they're told to sell tickets. It's like, bro, it's a music business.
Yeah,
it's a business. There's a venue. It costs them money. You can't just come in and perform at someone else's place and make them lose money. Like, they don't think about that kind of stuff. Like, oh, but you want me to entertain your crowd. It's like, no, they don't. They don't want you there. They don't care. You know what I mean? I'm bringing you in.
Yeah.
I don't fucking work for the venue. I'm making nothing. You know what I mean? Like, it's fucking, like, people don't understand that kind of stuff, you know? They just, like, want to argue if things don't work out their way. They just think they're a dope artist and their friends gas them up, so they think they're, you know, they're cool in their circle. But outside of that, no. If I put their name on a flyer, no one's like, "Oh shit, I have to see that show." You know what I mean? So it's like, if you can't do that, if your name can't generate ticket sales, then you're not at the point where you can get a set rate for shows. You know what I mean?
And it's
if you put these established artists, or like at least like they've been in the scene long enough where they have a fan base, you put their name and they can sell 15, 20 tickets. Cool. Give you
and
a set
that's
rate.
not even that much, to be honest. I mean,
it's not that, bro. If you can't sell 15 tickets, who the fuck is listening to your music? If 15 people don't want to pay to see you perform, why are you performing? Get back in the studio, put out some more music, promote that shit. You shouldn't be performing if nobody's coming to see you. Do open mics, do shit like that. Get some like practice.
Well, and from experience, what I learned, you could do 1,000 shows in your hometown. You're gonna wear your name out. You know this Motions taught me this when I toured across Canada.
That's also a pet peeve of mine. You're performing every week.
You gotta start touring and doing shows in other places. So now they see, Mike, like they see I did 3 shows in Vancouver, right? Let's say, and then I go across BC. I do 20 shows, and I save the last show. For Vancouver. Right. So now you're seeing me go, whoa, look at Mike, he's doing... You're seeing this hype, you see what I'm saying? Instead of having it at the beginning.
Different
because now you're watching me build, and they're watching me online now or whatever. And then on the last show, I come home. So now it seems like it's a scarcity. Yeah. Oh, Mike's done 20 shows, and there's only one at home. I have to go.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not doing... Oh, come check me out every 4 Thursdays. You know,
because if they miss that show, it's like, I'll see him next week.
That's what I'm saying, and that's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, create.
No, it's kind of bad.
But you gotta learn.
Eventually, you gotta stop doing that. You can do it at the beginning.
There's nothing wrong with doing lots of shows in your own city. Like, that's fine. But if you really want to like get out there and you can't get booked, you can book a couple shows outside of. You know, even in your province or whatever, 5 shows, do a mini tour, and then you do the last one in your hometown because it creates a lot of build. Now all your people are watching you. They know the show's coming last. Yeah. You know, and then like just killed the show in Edmonton.
For sure.
Really good crowd. You take pictures of the show. They go, it separates everything's you from everyone else, totally, sure. And everything's a snowball effect. So everything, you might not, even if you have one song, that's fine. Make it the best, and then you put it out. Then you get 10 views, and then everything. It all snowballs. Even what you think is small, it's okay because what is small to you is bigger to someone else. So, even 1,000 views. Okay, now it's coming up. Okay, that's awesome. Like some people.
Yeah, that's great.
You know, and just everything is just the snowball effect. And look at like us. Like we literally started with a snowflake,
Yeah.
and now it's
Yeah.
like, you know, you got Jack Frost freaking in your front yard all fucking.
I see where you're going with that. I was like, yo,
Yeah.
fucking snowstorm.
But you know what I mean?
Blizzard
Yeah,
in this
yeah. But
bitch.
it's just little
Yeah.
things, like little,
For sure.
tiny little things, and all our failures and
We
everything
put in
we
that
just
work.
talked about.
How many free shows do we do coming
Dude,
up?
I have
How many
done-
times do we have to sell tickets? How many fucking tickets
I have done.
Like,
I have sold.
holy shit.
I've had to sell so many tickets, and this is still even in the back day. I know now it's a
Yeah.
little frowned upon, but like,
But even now, like, I
it is
feel
what
like-
it is, right? And
Yeah.
and me and you have done so many fucking shows
Yeah.
and so many promotions that, and now at this point, it's like, okay, like,
But people gotta realize like it's different. Like venues are different, promoters are different.
Everything
like not
is
every show
different
is
now.
exactly the same. Like you can do a Tuesday in some like rundown club, and then doing a Friday, Saturday night at a big popular club is a completely different
totally.
beast. You can't look at those promoters the same. The whole fucking business is completely different. You can't do a fucking Wednesday and then want to do your exact show business wise, numbers, tickets, everything on a Friday, Saturday night at a popping club on Grand. Like that shit is not gonna happen. It's impossible. Like it's completely fucking different. So if you're trying to be like, oh, but I just did a show like that. I just did a show like that. Why are you doing it differently on a Friday, Saturday? Because the whole fucking business. These are the legit promoters. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about local artists. They're not trying to do that shit. They want to do that shit on a Wednesday, Thursday at a smaller club because they need people to come out.
I know.
Friday, Saturday night, they don't need people to come out.
Well,
Shit is
but
slammed.
but see, just like you, what you're saying,
You know
like
what I mean?
that's why what you were doing at the time was so unorthodox.
That's what I was
because
doing the shows.
Right? Because you were like so against like the grain of what the typical promoter, because you
because
are
I'm an artist.
you're an artist.
And I always take their
but
side.
this is that's why you're also truly special in that sense, and I give you mad props on that because you were the artist. You fought for the artist, and this is what other artists are. You were getting them into big venues on club nights. It's not like a usual thing. Like you only have 15, 20 minutes sometimes or less or whatever, but you're in this huge high impact moments with it's more of a club crowd than hip hop, but you could if you could utilize that quick.
Yeah.
And then like you said, like it's not just about that performance. Half of it was the marketing and the networking, because now everybody in the motherfucking club seeing you perform. If you put it on yourself to kill it, people are gonna come up to you. Awesome performance. What's your name? Hey, I saw that. You know how many times? Even the last show I did with you, the owner, the older Asian guy came up to me after I did my grandpa song.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, that was dope.
At Umbre.
He loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it.
He
was
loves
like,
hip hop shows. He likes doing
I
he's a
love
big
that.
supporter on the Vancouver.
And I really
website, for
liked
sure.
that because I was like, that's what I took in my head. I'm like, hey, make this really good. So if like the owner of the club is even watching, I'm impressing him because I want him to be happy.
Yeah.
Because I'm dipping into his time. So the least I can do is put on like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And do a quick, nice, short, awesome set.
For sure.
And get in there. And it's true. And he did. And he came up. And little stuff like that means big points for me. And I, regardless of what happens, but just connecting with like the owners.
Yeah.
Like how many times of owners from Savario, from old Fever days, that actually like still follow us, still relevant, still support, even though all these years things have changed. Like they still remember us, and that's cool to me. Like again, it's like the concise and check ones. It's a little fucking things sometimes when people appreciate the little things that you doing that you may not think that they're noticing, but you're trying to get that noticed. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I'll even give props to Dave he's the owner of Cabana. And I was
Shout
brought
out
me in, but Dave's always the guy that has to sign off on the shit, and he always let me bring in local artists, even though sometimes maybe he didn't really want to. Some of them, he trusted me to at least do it. You know what I mean? So I gotta shout him out as well, because that's like one of the main spots I go to, and they always treat me like family. You know, that's like home. You know what I mean? But so he let me do a lot of shows there, so I gotta give props to him as well.
That's awesome.
Cabana's always and they do shows now there too on the Friday nights. There's another promotion company that does shows early on the Friday nights, so they're still supporting local hip hop shows there.
Yeah, well,
for sure.
We'll
they're doing early shows. It's not like we would do shows at midnight 1 a.m. They're doing shows early because they're slammed on Fridays and Saturdays.
Yeah,
so
why?
So here's the thing: they don't have access to a show at midnight. There's no way they could do that.
No,
If I did it, they, I don't know about now because it's like crazy, but like at that time,
that's what I'm
they
saying.
were letting me do that shit.
Yeah, see, that's what
which
I'm
is
saying.
fucking crazy. It's like, why would you let me do that?
Why? There's like, you guys.
Even I'm kind of like, really? You're gonna let? I would like push it, be like, so like, yeah, like Tuz is probably watching, be like, yeah, you can perform at 10 o'clock. I'm like, how about 11? Maybe 11:15, 11. I'm always trying to push for like, I'm not even performing. It's for the other. I'm trying to get him a better time slot
every time.
It's like, how about 11:30? Maybe they'll show late, but maybe 11:45. Say, all right, well, maybe cut the set shorter. I'm like, no, maybe let him do 15 minutes. It's like I'm always just like pushing the envelope, and they have like every right to tell me to fuck off.
Oh man.
But they don't. They might get mad at me a little bit later after, but it's like, okay, sorry, man. I'll make sure it doesn't happen next time. They let me continue to do it, which is fucking dope of them. So I'm like, it's their spot. I don't fucking work for Cabana. I'm not a promoter there. I'm nothing. It's all them letting me do this shit because of the relationship I have with them.
That's awesome.
Artists don't realize that when I'm booking shows, like, I don't work for the venue. I'm just like a third party, completely separate thing.
That's what
So they get mad about the club. Like, you guys are making money off the bar. I'm not making money off the bar at all. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not making money off the door. I'm not making money off the bar. I'm not making money off anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. I get my little cut from your ticket sales. Mm-hmm. But that's because I should get something at least for fucking getting you in spot. And even then, I'm not even getting that because it costs me money to do other things. I might be covering whatever my cost was to advertise. Yeah, because I'm making sure you guys have cordless mics. I'm making sure you have the good equipment
that's what I'm
for
saying,
the sound.
right?
I'm doing advertising. I'm paying for ads for your show. So maybe at least let me cover my fucking expenses.
Yeah,
I'm not fucking minting money off this shit. Are you crazy? I would just perform if I wanted to make money off this shit. You know what I mean? I'm basically giving you free shows. I'm just giving you access. I'm just there as the person fighting for artists to get them that 15 minutes, 20 minutes on stage.
And that's all I'm shout out doing. To that, buddy. You fucking put on for your city.
Well, you too, you've been all about that, man. Like, you started this shit. You know what I mean?
That's what I tried to do, man. It was all about the artists and just being fair. And because, you know why? Because I am a fucking artist. And I knew it wasn't, it wasn't possible. Like I said, the same thing. At that time, I was like, okay, like, how am I gonna... I remember literally, like, thinking this through. Like, how in the fuck am I going to do this show at the hall? Yeah. I'm like, how? Right. I don't have $1 to my name.
Right, yeah.
I have all these rappers. I'm talented as fuck. Yeah. I'm going to school soon. Like, I see... I had to, like, go to the homies, one of my big homies, and be like, yo, like, put the money up. We got Adam. I had to get bartenders. Adam did a lot at the time.
People don't realize how much work it is on a private event like that.
Like, dude,
bartenders, security, the sound system. You got to bring lighting. You got to do all that shit, and all that costs money, dude.
And then we had all that.
You got to rent the place, liquor license. You got to get everything.
License. Then I had the bartenders. You got to make sure you have everything. You got to
put a deposit down to get the vent. Like, there's so much shit involved with that. And then, there's a lot of fucking work.
And then same thing. Then
all these rappers are gonna do is show up and perform.
And now imagine all that. Yeah. At 20 in Pitt Meadows when no one's doing this even stuff to learn from. I had no one to learn from. Exactly. Not even you yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, I feel you.
What the fuck was I doing? I did, but somehow...
There's no fucking blueprint to this shit. You're making it up as you go.
I literally didn't know.
As shit comes up, how do I solve this problem? How do I solve this problem?
Literally, I had such good team at Parker. I had my boy Adam Martin, shout out. Mm-hmm. JJ, everyone, everybody at the time. And luckily, we had like this good team. And we just winged it. We didn't know what to do exactly. So
yeah, no, exactly. No, for sure,
so
dude.
It was... Everything was a learning process to get to this exact point. Literally right to this exact time now. We're doing shows again. Now we're grown men. Like, I have a child. Best dad and fucking I love being a dad. Cheers, bro. Everything. Even though I wouldn't have changed anything for the world. All the failures, all the successes, all the people we met, people that aren't even here anymore. Like, it's so golden to me. Like that we can even just sit here and talk about this shit.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
That's why
I feel blessed.
That's why I really wanted to shoot this.
Me too, man. I appreciate it.
You gotta get it out there, for sure.
Just to talk the good, the bad, the ugly. We laughed, we cried, we did everything. Yeah. We fought, we did everything together. At the end of the day, it's all blood, it's all family to me. Like, at least with me, I'm always, and now look at you. You're doing great. Like, you always had a good eye for talent, and you know how to nurture it properly. And not only that with your own, right? And it's not an easy thing for people to do.
No, no.
You know.
And you've even more than me. You've always had a connection with like the local artists and the local scene, even more than I have. Like
I
a
showed
lot of
you
artists,
tons
like,
of them.
yeah, no, for sure. You've introduced me to like most of that. I end
did.
up like I go on and work with them after, but you do the introduction first,
Of course.
and then I just take it from there. That's kind of like been the thing.
I like
You do the initial thing, like, oh, this is Faze, this is this guy.
It is.
And then
How
I talk
many
with them,
times?
and it's
How many?
countless times.
I can picture 10 artists and we won't even say them.
So
It doesn't
many,
matter.
Dude, I can't even count. Probably mostly like all of them, dude. Like so many.
Probably like all of them.
Probably. Because it all stems from, and then like...
It is.
Because it stems from that introduction that I might meet more people down the line, but it always starts from there. You know what I mean? So...
It is true.
Roulette Delgado. Portland.
Shout out to...
I saw him at a show.
I
was talking to Emotions at a show, having a conversation with him. This guy gets on stage. I have no idea who the fuck he is. He's rapping. I'm like, this sounds fucking dope. I'm talking to Emotions the whole time. Then he starts singing, and I'm like, yo, hold up. I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? Gets off stage. I'm like, yo, Dave, like, hold on. I'll be right back. Go up to him. This is another thing the artists don't do. Give props.
No,
this guy's
it's very
fucking dope.
rare.
As soon as he got off stage, I walk right up to him. I'm like, that shit was fucking dope. My name's Faze. Enjoy your night. I just want to let you know that shit was fucking dope. We should work on something. Take my number. Get my something. You know what I mean? Like, this shit was fucking dope. And then I think you guys, like, knew of each other. You guys became friends or whatever. And, like, later down the line, like, I think you maybe probably reintroduced us or something. Or, like, I think you maybe told them, like, you should work with Faze or something.
I remember...
Like
I think it was after a show.
Yeah.
And I told you about him already. And you think you already knew about Delgado. But I was like, that same thing, like you said. It was an introduction. I'm like...
Yeah.
We're outside and you just were there and I'm like, hey, I was like, look, this is the guy. And he can help and
because he's always shown so much love to
Delgado's the best.
Yeah,
I love
he's
Delgado.
Always talked so highly about you.
I love
sure.
Delgado. He's a fucking amazing person.
Man, for sure.
Like he's gonna watch him 5 years from now.
He's doing his thing, man.
I'm not even gonna say he's killing in 5 years. He's killing it now.
Yeah, no,
but
for sure.
5 years, he will be in a leader in whatever he decides to do in 100%, life. 100%. I've always seen
no
it.
doubt, for sure.
And that's but again, it seems look at how we're like, there's like, it's like rappers almost like in diaper stages. You stop in the pee-wees, you go to the diapers, then they move to the bantams and the big leagues, and we've always been those guys who anyone can pick someone out when they got lots of views and fans and things are going good and all that shit. We especially,
we take them when no one knows who
no
they are.
one knows who the fuck they are, but that's one of our
Yeah.
best qualities, and we've always had a good thing, and nothing more than just wanting to help.
Because that's the thing, we've never been afraid to do that.
Because we are those
props.
seeds. We
That's
are
true.
those guys all the time, so we know what it's like. That's why I think we always do that, because we see
It
ourselves
costs you
in
nothing.
them.
It takes nothing away from
No.
you to show love to another artist,
Oh, dude,
to help
that's
them
awesome.
out. It costs us nothing. Why not help build the scene here instead of like
That's right.
hoarding all this shit, holding all my connections to myself? How is that gonna build the scene in Vancouver?
Yeah.
How is that gonna help? Everyone complains about this shit here because who the fuck is helping anybody? No one's fucking helping each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Everybody is so like clicked up. They're only helping their small dude. Like, you should be helping everybody. Let's build some shit. Let's all work together. Mm-hmm. Everyone wants to make like a small amount of money. It's like, oh, I'll do a verse. Like, give me $100. Like what are you doing? What the fuck? Actually, like, in other places, everybody works together and they all support each other. And they come up. An artist will drop some shit. Everybody will support that project. Then the next guy will be up. He'll put his shit out. They'll all support his project. The next guy will come up. Here, nobody does that. People put shit out. They don't even promote it. They promote it for like 2 days and they're on to the next thing. Like, nobody even saw it. You know what I mean? It's like, why'd you spend the last 3 months working on this? You promoted it for a week and now you're on to the next thing. You know what I mean? Like, and then no one else is supporting it. No one's bigging up that artist. It costs you nothing to tag it, to share it, to let your friends know this shit's fucking dope. Like, nobody's really doing that around here. You know what I mean? Maybe a select few, but overall, the scene isn't really connected like that. Everyone has their own different cliques, and none of these cliques are working together at all, which they all should be. It's so different because I've worked with all these different circles. like
independently.
Yeah, so like I'll see
you
like
have
I'll see like
a good portion of
so like
or a member of at least a crew from a lot of them.
Yeah, and it's like I'll go to like an
sure.
underground show, and like all the same rappers like are at that show. You know what I mean? Like they're rapping to a bunch of rappers, right? And then the next month it's like the same show and 90% all the same artists. But that scene thinks that's the whole scene. They think they're the only local artists in the city. Like we are the whole underground scene. It's like no, there's a whole bunch of people over here that aren't going to your shows, but they're fucking artists as well. And they're like maybe they're not out at these shows as often as you because they might do show once a month. They might do show once every couple months. They're doing shows other places. Like there's so many artists that are just artists. They're not at other shows just performing for a bunch of other artists. They're doing solo shows just for their fan base. But they don't even know that shit exists. Like it's just they're just like in a bubble and they don't know anything outside of their bubble. And I'm just like watching like because they'll say like one artist and one artist might be like the main one in that circle who's like the biggest artist there.
Yeah.
But in like the big stage in all of Vancouver, nobody knows who that artist is. He's just big in that circle. He's just headlining the show or whatever all the time. Yeah, but it's like outside of that, nobody fucking knows him. He's not doing a show without those other guys. And he's just rapping to like 40 other rappers. It's like, what the fuck? There's no fans. There's no actual fan base. You know? It's just other people that are who were there on the show earlier or trying to get on the next show or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
That's why, especially for me now in today's, like I was saying to you, like being a dad and the limited time that I have and with him, I don't really want to do a lot of like shows. I mean, not in a sense I would, to do lots of like build music videos, so the point where you don't have to chase it. I'm attracting it now. Yeah. I'm gonna keep pumping so many dope videos. Yeah, people are gonna go, when are you doing a show? When are you doing a show? Because I keep, another video. Oh, when's your show? They're gonna start fucking.
You gotta build the hype.
But that's what I'm saying. Like it's the same thing. It's like you make something, whatever it is, a scarcity. So if I'm going on tour, you only do one show in Vancouver because now everybody has to come or wants to come. Yeah. Same thing. If I don't do a lot of shows,
they might not see you for 6 months.
Exactly, because you know you're not doing a bunch of local ones. Don't do them over. You're gonna. I call it kind of like overwashing yourself. Like you're putting yourself in the wash too much. You're fucking fraying yourself for nothing. You know,
for sure.
You're stretching yourself too thin for nothing.
Saturating the market. Like
it's for nothing.
Cares.
You're pouring too much water
because it's not a big deal.
You got to make yourself.
If they can see you the next week, why would they?
You got to create like that
demand.
The demand, and then if you can't do it through the friends or the tickets or whatever, or then again put lots of material out that's high quality because now. Yeah. It's creating a buzz, and some guys are the opposite. I won't say names or people in the city too, but they'll do 1,000 fucking shows and not do any quality videos or anything. I'm like, bro, take the time.
A lot of them
to do one good video. Have you put $5,000 or like had one like you have 30 videos? Shot by like your buddy on a camera. Like hire one good guy. Yeah. Like a real production team that's not in your circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you're working with someone outside of your circle, so it's a whole new. Now it's a new person, new environment, new etiquette. You might learn something now, and now also if they don't keep the standard up, you can. I'm not saying get mad, but you're like, look, I'm paying you this much. Yeah. If it's a buddy, it's like, we'll get it done whenever. It's good enough. Yeah. It's always they're never gonna be as hardworking as you or as me because we know what we want.
Exactly.
So when
if you're paying for it, you get exactly what you want.
If you had the money, and let's just say if you did, do 5 dope-ass music videos, the highest caliber, and don't do any fucking shows. And sit on those videos, and maybe on like by the 3rd one or 4th, you do a show for the release of the video. Now you see what I'm doing here.
Do a whole rollout.
It's a whole snowball effect.
Yeah, for sure.
And but this is where we're at from like back in the day. It was nearly impossible to have videos. You were, unless you're on Much Music in 2007, you ain't having big videos. I'm sorry. It was like it just wasn't happening. The music video still wasn't big for rap like for us yet. It wasn't even on our radar. No. We were like
was
so
even,
worried
like, an
about
option.
getting signed and just touring, and
Yeah.
we weren't even thinking. Now look back, I'm like, oh, imagine we had like one good
You've
video.
done so much more.
It would have been it. That's see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With all that hard work, one video would have outshined all of it.
Probably.
Because it's just
just
giving
different,
them
yeah.
what they want
And it's so
versus
easy to
doing
shoot a
what you
video
want.
now. Dude,
You
this
know?
phone shoots in fucking 4K,
Oh, dude,
bro. Like, you can take
motherfucking-
your phone
dude.
and a stabilizer, and you're good to
Oh.
go. Do a fucking video in 2 hours, you're good to go. And
Oh,
it'll look
yeah.
fucking dope.
Oh yeah,
You can
the
edit
best.
the shit in post later and put all
Yes.
the effects and all that shit.
Oh
That-
yeah,
that shit wasn't there.
AI will just edit it. You just load it into an AI, and
Yo.
within 3 minutes you have a video back.
Yo, that shit is wild. That's a
I
whole
love
other
it.
thing, yo.
That's that good,
That's
man.
crazy. Yeah, no, like, people, it's a lot easier nowadays, for sure. And you can do this shit a lot cheaper. That's the thing, it's like, people want set rates, they want all this shit, but they're not investing in themselves. Like, you're not even putting money into yourself. Why would someone else put in money to you? You know what I mean? Like, why don't you shoot some videos? Build your name up a little bit, you know?
Get
Make
some grants. Get the government
apply for
money,
some grants.
right?
Learn the business end. Don't just be an artist. Nowadays, if you don't know
No.
the business, like, you're behind the 8 ball.
Mm.
Every artist should know the business. Because you're not trying to get signed to a label anymore. That shit doesn't make any sense.
No,
You
I
know?
wouldn't even do it, to be honest.
No.
Even if someone did, I would.
That's not the way to do it.
I don't want you taking my rights. B, I know what I've been
Yeah.
down that road. And C, it's time away from Blake. And my creative control is worth more than
That's the
everything
thing.
in the world.
Yeah.
I don't want. And
You
my
don't-
masters.
People don't know the trade-off. They just think you're signed to a label. That's it. They don't understand, like,
It's
the
your
money you
chain.
get is in advance.
It's
It's
an
not-
invisible chain on your
Yeah.
leg. It really is.
Yeah. for sure.
They tell you what to do.
Like, when you get
In
to
a
a certain
sense.
point, maybe you can work out a deal that's better. Like, fine, but if you're a new artist, you're going to get, like, a standard, like, 360 deal or some shit like that. Like, that's the worst fucking deal. Like, that shouldn't even exist. And you got to think, the music business is set up for the artist to fail.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? They're designed to keep you locked into the label, so you continuously owe them money. Like, that's a whole, like, other thing. But, like, there's no point. Like, if you can just build the name yourself, which you can now. You don't need...
Yeah.
You can put the shit on
Tons of
Spotify, Apple Music
independent-
yourself. You can shoot music video yourself and do a worldwide release by yourself. You have access to all these fucking avenues. You don't need a label. You can get a fucking loan from the bank and put that money in to do a project. That's the exact same shit. And that way you're controlling the interest and you're controlling the money and you're controlling the budget. Because what happens when you're with a label, they give you money, but also they choose where you spend it. They make you put that money into studios that they want you to record at. And now your budget is fucking crazy because you don't even get to choose how to spend the budget that they gave you.
That's
So you're better off just getting a bank
Yeah,
loan
that's
from like
insane.
$10,000 or whatever from the bank, and then you get to choose how you use that money, and now you control paying them back whenever the fuck you want. Now it's on your time, it's your money, it's your line of credit, you're in control, and you get to choose everything. On a fucking label, you can't do that shit. They give you the money and they tell you how to spend it, and they always make you spend a lot more than what your budget is. So now at the end of the day, you owe them money. So like you have to do another project, and then you're just locked in for life. Just stay fucking independent.
And on that,
You
and
know?
also on that note, you could get in debt on an album, on the record deal, and then they could just shelf you
Yeah.
purposely because, like, I'm not
Put
gonna
you in a non-compete. You can't put
I'm
music
not,
out
I'm not
anywhere.
gonna say names either, but a lot of big labels, well, if you're an up and coming artist and say like you're saying a lot of truthful stuff, or maybe, and you have a big following, or they'll do it. They'll sign you to stomp you, like
Oh,
to
yeah.
stump you out, like
Yeah. For sure.
because you're competition, and now, or if they get you, now not only they take away the competition,
Yeah.
they'll just not put you out. They shelf you. So
Yeah.
now you completely
It's
annihilate.
definitely a
It's like
thing.
war. Like if
Yeah.
you got this competition, even though he's over the other mountain and he's not invading your territory,
Yeah.
he might. He's
Yeah.
getting big on the
He's
other
getting
side of
bigger.
the mountain,
Yeah.
while you're getting older and he's getting
He's
younger
he's
and
a problem.
stronger.
He's a problem.
So this guy
Yeah.
could be a problem. You need to go in
Definitely.
and get negotiators to
Yep.
figure this out. And that's like what labels are to me. Like, and not in that sense, but
No, but that is definitely a thing.
It's
for sure.
like
it's a
that.
common thing.
It's
a
like
common
it's like
thing.
war, and they're doing
Yeah.
it to. if your competition, if we can't beat you, we're gonna buy you out or buy you on our team.
Yeah.
And
buy you
and if anything, if you can't work or it doesn't work the way you think, they'll just leave you there forever.
Yeah.
And then now you're owed money, and now you can't release
your project
music,
never comes out.
Nothing's coming
stuck,
out, and you're completely fucked, and you're fucked.
And after a year, people forget about you. Now you just don't even exist.
It is. I've seen so many artists.
It's a common thing, bro.
Again, I won't get into any names. A lot of professional, a lot of local too, but
yeah,
I can say, and I've seen it.
There is a lot, man. You can look it up. This shit's all online too. There's so many stories.
We live in independent times now. No one, I wouldn't take a fucking deal if you gave me $50 million. I would be like, no, because I know what attaches to it.
Like, think about it right now.
Fucking headache.
Think about it. Think about it right now.
I'm not doing it.
If Drake just ended his deal and went independent, record labels would cease to exist.
There wouldn't be too many of the
biggest artists in the world.
Billions,
just goes independent.
Billions of
the
streams.
Shit's over. It's a wrap.
On like that song.
It's literally done overnight.
God's Plan had like 2 billion streams.
It's done overnight. The whole music business would be finished.
I'm not saying
overnight if that happened. That's how
it is collapsing. Everything is collapsing.
Yeah, you don't need
to. The banks, we won't get into all that, but
for sure.
The music industry as a whole, from what we used to know it, is collapsing, and now we're actually we're just on the peak, or the verge, of independent now. No one like a lot of art. No one like it started from Master P to Tech.
Yeah,
and
nobody's trying to get signed.
And no one does anymore.
Everybody has their own label, their own brand.
Everyone's figured it out now that it's a better deal for yourself.
People
like Nipsey killed it. He did everything on his own, and again, Master P kind of started it. Get your own distribution. Get your masters. If you own your masters, it's a fucking like everything. Like, why go? Imagine selling.
Taylor Swift just fucking re-recorded her whole fucking discography and released it all at the same time. I think it's all charting on the fucking charts. All her projects at the exact same time because she just re-released everything. She had to re-record everything, re-release it. So now she owns her masters or whatever,
because she did it now.
Yeah. So
I know.
Now she's getting the money from it. You know what I mean?
Wow, that's crazy.
But you gotta understand, like, Ashanti did the same thing. She re-recorded her whole thing, her whole discography.
Really?
So you gotta make it try to sound exactly how it was before.
Wow.
But still, like, that's fucking hard to do. But again, artists are doing that. They're recreating their old music.
Isn't that crazy?
So that they can have ownership. Because they can't get the ownership for their shit.
No, they won't.
So they have to redo their whole projects.
Isn't that crazy think about? That they own... When you, like... They literally... You know what it reminds me of? Like Ursula and the Little Mermaid. When they're like... No, but they literally, like... They're like... They're like literally... It's your voice, but they're taking it.
All right.
It's your voice on wax, and you're getting paid, and it's your song, and you're getting these residuals, but you don't even own the rights to your own voice.
Yeah.
Isn't that fucked?
That's fucked.
I can't believe that. Even when I think about it, I'm so happy.
It's pretty crazy.
Like,
for sure. It's like, why? Like, how? Like, I get why.
It's like building a house for yourself, but you don't get to own it.
You don't own it.
You get to live in it. You built it, but it's not your home.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
That's
musically
crazy.
That doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah. No, it's wild. No, but for sure though, like even now with like just going back to the promoting and stuff, like that shit, we didn't have access to any of that shit when we were coming up. We literally had to do it ourselves. No one was like putting on or no one hit us up like, hey, you should come perform at our club night. Like, nobody was doing that. Emotions was doing it on the Mondays. You know, so that definitely, he's always been.
Yeah, the Mondays down in the Gastown.
Yeah, but I can't remember really like anyone else that was just like
putting on local rap artists.
Yeah, like I can't even. I'm trying to even like think back to see who was doing shows. Like I can't even remember.
One guy, Lenny Deco, up in your basement. He used to book us. He used to book us back in the day.
We gotta give him props for sure.
Shout out to Lenny Deco.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Up in your basement records. I still remember. Had the gas mask logo and shit.
Yeah.
They used to book us quite often at the very beginning.
Okay.
Very like our first 3 shows at like the Waldorf.
I definitely remember him.
Was from him, and that's when I think
was I part of Keepsakes at that point though.
Yeah,
I might have.
I think it was I think you might not even been, but that was also at one time there was like a fight, like Busta Graham fucking try. He was like on stage and jumped
What?
off stage while we're like performing and tried to fight someone.
Was I there?
I don't think so, and I had to like.
I was already done. This is post.
No.
This
was.
I was in
pre.
jail?
This was like just. It was. Yeah. Oh my god.
I was locked up
in your room with a.
in my studio.
Pretty much
My
locked
home
in
studio.
your studio.
Remember,
yeah.
I had fucking. I don't know if I should say. I had Buddy come in the studio one time.
Oh, yeah,
No, say okay.
No, we won't get into that.
Probably should have put that on. But
we had some.
that's just
we had
wild,
some
though,
pretty
right?
crazy people come through the
Yeah.
studio. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
Like an assortment of awesome people and goons and amazing people.
For
But
sure. Yeah, some of the shit I think back, I was like, wow, that happened in
I
my
know,
house.
right? Like, that's
yo,
crazy.
that
Even,
shit was just downstairs.
Well,
Like,
even when
yo.
I rolled out, I was like, oh, it's like, I guess.
You were like, he's like, I was like, oh, really? I was like, I did not know that. He's coming back next week. Like,
coming
fuck.
back next week.
Dude, that was one of the most stressful mixing jobs I had to do. I'm like, this shit better sound good.
Yeah.
This might be it. This might be the last thing I mix. Like, I don't know what's gonna happen. And he fucking loved it. I was like, thank
we had
God.
a guy in when,
I was like, if this shit goes south.
And it is what it is.
Yeah, I remember.
It's a very intimidating person, and Faze, could be for a guy mixing anyone, a young guy, and you just don't. It's like a lot of pressure.
I should have known.
Should have known that I would.
When he pulled out the water cache, I should be like, this is not normal. Like, why is that? I mean, he was super nice though, so it's fine. It's cool. It was a good experience.
It was actually a good day.
Thankfully, he was like a good guy, so like it worked out. But that shit could have gone south. Like, he didn't like the mixing. I don't know.
I don't like the mixing. I'm like,
I paid you for this.
What'd you get me into, Hammy? I'm sorry, bro. Oh my god.
Help.
You're just young kids,
right? Like, we don't know what we're doing. I'm still learning how to use this program while I'm mixing it. I'm still like, what does this plugin do? Just like flipping knobs and shit. Like, hopefully it makes it sound better. Like, I listened back to some of the mixing on our old tracks. A lot of mine, like, I'm just like, what the fuck? I thought this was good at the point. Like, it sounds like terrible. I'm like, good thing I don't know how I put this shit out. It's like kind of cringe to like look back at it. I mean, at the time, I probably thought it was dope. I definitely thought, like, I'm killing the shit. And I listen to it now, I'm like, yo, this is pretty bad.
Oh man.
But we do have a lot of good songs though.
There is, man.
Yeah, like a lot of like
we were just bumping some shit here,
right?
like Raindrop Shoes,
good.
like Raindrop City, and
that
one you and DZ did that old school one is like one of my favorite. I'm like
I know when you were like, I know the beat or whatever. Right?
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I have that. You're like, I don't know how to describe it,
and
but it sounds like this, and I'm like, I know exactly what song you're talking about.
Oh man, it's been a long journey, man.
Yeah, man.
That's crazy. I can't believe it's... What is it? 2023 now? Oh my lord.
Dude, I feel
insane.
we haven't even covered like half of it. Dude,
we've so many more stories. We haven't even... We're just kind of talking, but we haven't even get into like little
we
stories.
Went on a rant about the music industry,
yeah,
and we're both so like heated about this shit. We just like go off.
Oh, like
usually it's just me, but I know you feel the same way. So we're both just like egging each other on.
Well,
fuck.
Not only we were,
but we actually
front runners of the promotional scene for Vancouver. Like
we had to learn the business end.
I remember even at one point too. After I remember, I did shout out to Mr. Mess. We did the shows at the El Dorado. We had the Wednesdays. Remember the 2 Hype Wednesdays?
Yeah.
I had those there too. Like it wasn't even nothing crazy. And then the El Dorado got torn down, but it's all these just little nights like piled up, little experiences. Okay, that didn't work. Over again.
Countless shows.
Countless learning. I failed so many times. I learned to win.
Remember Stone Temple? Facts.
Like this, seriously.
Stone Temple.
Yeah, in the basement.
We did DZ's CD release or some shit.
That's right. With the tiki, it was like a Halloween, or it was a Hawaiian night. It was like a Hawaiian night. Don't you remember? Yeah, there's pictures of me and Sadler in like Hawaiian gear.
Wait, was that the same night? I don't know if
Are
that
you
was the
sure?
same night.
I don't know. Maybe.
I remember, I think it was the first show I did under Elite Player Entertainment. And I think it was the first time I performed as well.
Oh yeah, that's Robin Williams was there.
Yeah.
Oh, bro,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
I forgot about that, but that's right, he
was there.
That's crazy.
We met Robin Williams the very first time.
The first night Elite Player Robin Williams. Yeah, let's go. I totally. How can I forget that?
I don't know. Yeah.
That should have been like. I should still be talking about that.
Yeah, like no shit. Literally.
You remember all this shit?
We're performing, and fucking.
It was the Duelist CD release party.
It's Duelist CD release party. We're just chilling. It's pretty packed. You know, things were like, I didn't even notice. He was in the crowd watching us.
Yeah.
We didn't even know because he was tucked on the right and we were on the left. Remember?
Yeah.
It's like a two-sided bar. Like it.
Yeah. There's the stage.
It opens and then it opens to the seating.
And then there's
area.
like something in the middle. There's two.
It's like it's cut in half, but there's a wall.
Then the bar's like at the back.
It's hard
like
to explain.
Yeah.
And I remember.
It's just like a wall in the
we
middle
did
for
that
no
and
reason.
saying the West Coast, like seriously, West Coast. You performed that song.
Yeah.
Or that one song. Oh, remember you had the dopest. You had the dopest fucking verse on that one song. DZ had it. Oh, hold on. Move back, motherfucker, move back. Street move. This is street music. Move back. This is street music.
That sounds familiar.
Now you're rocking this. Always like. You're like, oh, it's like move back, motherfucker, move back.
What song is that?
Move back, motherfucker, move back. Move back.
That sounds really familiar.
And you're like, you know, like it's now DZ and the Duelist. You're rocking with street music. Remember?
I might have.
And you had the flyest verse. You performed that night.
I might have it.
Anyway, but and we get on
stage. It was the first performance I've ever done, like live. At a show.
I remember, and I was wearing my Natural Talent Fire shirt.
Yeah.
I still remember. Yeah, with the
lives on.
with the back on fire. I had that shirt until like recently. I moved so many times. I keep a lot of these cool items as like memorabilia, but I lost it someone recently.
I remember I was working at Superstore. I was working at Superstore at the time, and like couple of people from Superstore showed up to like support the show. I was handing out flyers like in the break room. I was putting it up on the wall and shit. I was like the cashier and like people were coming through and I was low-key giving people flyers like, hey, come to my show. Like, they're buying like carrots and celery and I'm like, hey, come to my show.
Oh my god,
like
low-key under the table. Come to my show.
I did so much wild shit at that Superstore.
Some 40-year-old Asians like Asian ladies just like okay, I'll come.
Yeah. I remember one time I gave it to some dude, he's like rap right now, okay? And I just did like a quick freestyle. I think I just did like a verse that I remember. And he's like, all right, I'm gonna come to the show because of that. And I'm like, yes.
And he did? He came to the show. Oh my god.
I know, it was a wild shit, dude.
But see, that's
I'm a cashier.
That's the try. See, now that should be like a music
I would have been fired right away. I'm handing out flyers.
See, now that's funny. See, that should be like a music video.
What's the code for bags?
Where we
come to a rap show.
It's a music video where we go like in the past.
Who's doing that?
Like that, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's the type of grind you had to have back then. Now it's like motherfuckers just press a button on their phone.
Yeah.
It's promotion. Make a flyer.
Invite 1 million people.
Yeah, but no one was handing out flyers like on that level.
We were making posters, flyers, all that shit.
And same thing for that show we did. I handed out tons of posters.
And we had a good crowd for that shit too. People came out.
And literally, I remember we getting off stage and my buddy Josh was there. Josh Fergus was the redhead guy, the younger guy, the bald. Okay. His older brother was the guy who funded the money from Street Beats back in the day.
Oh, okay.
He's the guy who put the money up for him. He started everything.
Oh,
he never put that money up. I would have never done Street Beats. I probably would have never gotten into that promotion side. I would have never understood all that. Yeah. And I would have never been able to bring that to us
so many pieces.
Here.
There's so many
like
pieces
just that little bit of money. Like we didn't have... What's $2,500 when you have $0?
Yeah.
And then you need another $1,000 for the liquor, $1,000 for like it was like I remember it was like we put up like $3,000 to $4,000
for sure. Yeah, no, definitely.
And it wasn't even my money at the time. I had nothing. Adam was putting it. I had the motivation, all the artists.
Yeah.
I was good with the people.
Yeah.
Like I'm very good in that sense.
Sure.
I wasn't really always the best on the business side of everything.
Plays their part though. You had
but I could totally run everything as if I had my guys in order. I just tell them what to do and just don't fucking just get it done.
Just do it, yeah.
Just do it. You know, it's all for the better of the night. Don't.
For sure, everyone has to play their part. It's too much for like one person to do, man.
Yeah,
you learn
man.
this shit as you do it. You're like, holy fuck! You actually learn how much goes into it. Stuff you wouldn't even think of, and how hard it is to get that shit done. And shit just keeps coming. I was like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta do that. You didn't even like think about any of this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you just gotta put out one fire, one after another, after another, after another. And then just like you're stressed the whole time the night goes, and finally you can just fucking relax and the show's over.
Man,
You know
it's
what I mean?
still it's still crazy. But after that day, it's
Il-
true.
Il
We were
Kid-
sitting there.
Il
and,
Kid performed at that show too. He was with us on
Yeah,
stage.
yeah.
There was
And-
just like a bunch of us on stage. You were there, DZ was there, Il Kid, me. I can't remember.
Brad
who
was there
Brad
too.
was there,
Brad
yeah.
was there. I think Shelby was there too.
Yeah,
we
probably.
all were there.
We were all,
It
there's
was
a bunch
very-
of us just on stage, just
very
passing
first-
around this corded mic.
Yeah,
We're all
corded
just sharing
mic.
our
That
mic.
was a one corded mic,
Like
maybe
looking down
two.
while I'm rapping and shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like had no stage presence.
Yeah.
Like just learning.
Minus-
you know what I mean?
minus
just so happy to
1%.
be on stage rapping and shit, like something that I wrote. Like just having fun. Like
And then and that's crazy. And then I remember, and then DZ or it was Josh, and like, yo, that's Robin Williams. I'm like, fuck off. I was like, yeah, there's Robin Williams. Like, Robin Williams is in the show. now we look back, isn't that crazy?
that's wild.
Robin,
I totally
you could even
forgot
say
about
that. Like, the very first
Robin
show I
Williams
ever
came
did,
to my
Robin
first
Williams was in the show.
for DZC release party.
And he was sitting there with a bunch of girls. DZC release, he
Stone
was.
Temple.
At Stone Temple. You know what he was shooting at that time? I think
What?
it was like not Mrs. Doubtfire, but because this was years later. He was doing
Jumanji or some shit?
yeah, I think like
no,
it's,
it was in Vancouver. They probably shooting something.
no, they did do Jumanji in Vancouver. It was in Mission. They filmed it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It was after.
So maybe it was.
It was in that. It wasn't that
'Cause
time.
it was 2006.
So whatever
Mine was probably
movie.
before that. Right?
Yeah, it was about 2000.
It was
2000 maybe, 98 maybe, 99.
No, but our show was in 2006.
That
Pretty
show
sure.
was about
2006?
2006, correct.
Yeah.
So whatever movie he was doing, but still, like
Yeah, that's crazy.
and he came up, and he was cool as shit. He actually came up. He came
I
over
totally
right.
Forgot. I
He
remember
came
you
right
saying
up
that
to me,
too.
and all I could think was, "Damn, this motherfucker's short."
Yeah.
Because he's like this to me, and I'm like, I'm pretty short.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and he came over, talked, he chopped it up. I think he even invited us over. He just chopped.
Robin Williams, the goat, man.
He was the
That's
best,
sick.
like legit, like that is
That's
like
I totally
such
forgot
a
about
cool,
that. Now that you
awesome
said that, I
memory
was
that we
like,
get to share. Even we just then
I
even now
totally
for you to
forgot
bring that
about
up.
that.
I know,
Right?
right? That's what I'm saying.
That's crazy.
There's so many things we did and went through. It's hard to
Good
even
thing you're here. I
gauge,
forgot like half the shit.
bro. We were
There's
like
so
literally.
many things that like it's just a blur. Like I remember doing it, but I don't remember like all the shit that like, led up to it and what happened at these events. There was so many crazy things
It was
that
crazy.
had happened and like stuff we've been through and shit that would happen. Like like meeting Method Man was so fucking random. I went to dip to drop off tickets and flyers, and Method Man just sitting there. Like
Yeah.
what the fuck?
You're like,
And I'm
"What's up?"
talking to him for like an hour, just like chopping it up. He was performing like that night. I didn't even go to the show.
No
like, I'm
way.
just there. I'm just like
That's
chill. I
tight.
think he asked me, he's like, coming tonight? I'm like, nah. I'm just here to
Nah.
I'm just here to like promote my show. He checked it out. He's looking at the flyer and the poster. He's like, this is fucking dope, man. You're putting on for your city. Like, keep doing this shit.
That's
Like,
tight,
I was
dude.
like, damn, that's fucking crazy.
Yeah, see,
I'm like,
even
let's
look
take
at
it-
that. Just
yeah.
meeting Method.
And then I
Man
didn't want to
wrestling.
bother him too long. I'm like, that's cool, man. Like, I'm just gonna get like, I don't want to fucking keep bothering him, right? I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna head out, do your thing. I took a quick picture with him. I think the staff member there took a picture. I still had my like earpiece, like my
I
fucking
see
like.
that. I
I
see
had like
that.
my headphones on. Like, bro, you couldn't. I showed my buddy, like, bro, you couldn't take your fucking headphone out while you're taking a picture with Method Man. I'm like, I was on my way out, man. He took a quick picture and I just fucking left.
That's
Like,
tight.
I could have just stayed there with him. But I was
Yeah.
like, nah, like, I don't want to keep bothering. He's getting ready for his show. Like,
Yeah, no, I get it.
yeah, it's left. But that's crazy. Like, shit just like pops up like that. You know what I mean?
No, it's cool, and this is one, and I'll get into this. We don't gotta, go too much, but I remember I'm not sure if you. I think you were there at one or maybe not, but I opened for Maestro a bunch of times,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
let's do one maybe once or twice to keep six, or one on my own. I don't really remember, to be honest. Once.
Didn't you give him something too?
Yeah, and this is one of my favorite and coolest stories. So, being back in, again, 2005, 6,
Yeah.
Maestro was like the biggest Canadian artist.
Yeah.
Drake wasn't around.
No.
Merck, like no one at
No.
the time, like he was still
was
the
the
guy. He was the GOAT, and he still is the GOAT. I love Maestro Freshwa. Shout out Maestro. He's the homie. And
Yeah.
so the third time I opened for him, I know I never went up to him. Everyone always bombarded, and I just was like, I'm kind of starstruck a bit. I'm like, this is Maestro. I'm like, I really look up to this guy.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like in my kind of genre of how I like to do my music. Like, it's very spiritual and got a message and whatever.
Yeah.
And
conscious, lyrical, yeah, for sure.
And I opened for him twice, and I made sure, especially the second time, and I killed it. And he's just thinking, he's like, this motherfucker. He's like, this guy. It's the second time I've seen him. The third time,
right?
And now we're it's almost like a running joke. We've done like 3 shows now.
Yeah.
Even by the
you're
third,
just always there.
by the third now, yeah, I've opened for him 3 times, and on the third time, at least in his head, he goes, like, this guy, like, I know he can hear. He may not always be watching, but you can hear, sometimes. And he was watching on the second one, and I know the third. But either way, I made sure I did really, really, really good. So at least these guys, like, this guy, he's like, all these other guys, whether they're good or not,
Yeah.
He goes, in my head, I know he's going, oh, this guy's dope. But he's the only one who doesn't approach me.
Right.
So it's kind of, at least it may be throwing him off. And,
yeah.
And I know, and respect too, because I didn't want to bother the guy, like method, same thing. Sure. And so the third time, it was in the Maple Ridge show, and I opened for him, and I killed it, and I got my backstage pass, and I'm like, hey man, we're chopping it up, and I'm like, same thing, I made him a shirt, same thing. It was like, we did one for Russell Simmons, and we did it like Godfather Hip Hop, because in a sense he was like the manager of the first rap group, so he is like the Godfather of hip hop. But in Canada, Maestro was like the Godfather of hip hop too. Right. So we did one like that, Godfather Hip Hop, Maestro on his back.
Nice.
I remember gave it to him, and I thought I got it. I didn't realize I know he's big and muscular.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't realize he wears short shirts. It was like an XL. So here I am thinking like, so I'm giving him like this giant long dress of a shirt, and it's on the wall. So when we performed, it's on the wall. So all night he just sees this shirt. His DJ. So
his shirt that you gave him was on the wall.
Well, we put it up. Well, so when we went to go perform, we put it up behind us so people could see it in the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Like we put it up. And I talked to his DJ, which also happened to be Classified's DJ.
Oh, shit. Okay.
So Classified's DJ was there. I can't remember his name. It's at the time, might even bigger guy. Super nice. Can't remember his name, to be honest. Sorry, buds. And I'm like, hey, man. And I told him, because hey, I got a shirt. And at the end of the set, I'd like to we're going to like kind of honor him here. We really just to give him thanks. We love him, and we just want to give him a shirt.
Yeah.
And he's like, that would be so fucking cool.
Yeah.
So and then I did, and I called him on stage. There's like this iconic picture of me, like he's coming up, and I'm like lifting him up, and you can see him smiling. And I had it on my old, and then he gets up, and I'm giving him the shirt, and there's a big smile, and in his head now he goes, this sick guy. So he's like, he opened for me twice, 3 times. He's like that. It's that guy who always kills it, and never talks to me.
Yeah.
And now I'm just flooding him with this love. And we had it. We chopped it up. We had this dope conversation. I'm like, and I told him, this is the 3rd time. I never wanted to bother you. And I'm like, I'm really a big fan. Yeah. And I'm like, can I get that picture? And we had that picture. And you've seen it from back in the day. I'm throwing up the dub. I remember, and I had my red hat twisted, and I'm like this, and he's like this, and he's holding my hand real tight, and you can see he's happy, and he's smiling.
I remember the shirt,
and he's really happy. Yeah. And like I've talked to him prior after that, I sent him happy birthdays, and I know he still remembers, and I bet you till this day he still has this dress shirt sitting in his closet. Yeah. He might have put it on his wall or whatever. It's even unimportant what happened. Yeah. But I know for a long time he kept it, and it meant a lot because it's a sentimental gift from a fan. How many times?
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like, fans always want stuff from us.
Yeah.
A picture, an autograph. How many times now, even though we're maybe, to be at his level, but to give back to him. Yeah, like, how many guys have been like, bro, I've opened for you 3 times, Faze. I was really nervous. I didn't want to get a picture. Can I get a picture? Here's a shirt for you. You'd be like, whoa, this is dope. You always remember that moment.
Yeah.
So that was like one.
You can tell he's a down to earth guy. Like he follows me on IG and everything.
Yeah, he's amazing.
I talked to him the other day. Like I think it was during like the NFL, not the other day, during the playoffs.
He's such a good dude.
He was on a live one time, and I just randomly went on it. And he's like, hey, what's up, Faze? What's going on? I was talking about football, and I'm like, oh, I think this guy's going to win. He's like, oh, I don't know about that. He follows me, but like, he doesn't know who I am, right? He has like thousands of people.
You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised if he knew who I was, you know what
Honest,
I mean?
though, but...
How many people does he talk to, right? I was on there for like 2 minutes, and I really just popped on, and because you see the names that pop up, he's like, oh, what's up, Faze? Just like he says hi to everybody that walks in, whatever, right? But it was cool. Just had like a quick conversation, talked to him for like a minute about football playout, and then like he was busy, and he was like, all right, I'm getting off live. He was like meeting someone for like a meeting or whatever, and then I got off too. But it was a cool like little just moment. Like you can tell like he's a down to earth person. Just comes in and does that real quick, and then it's like like shit like that is pretty cool. That's cool. Though. I remember you meeting him, giving him that shirt and all that stuff too. I remember that picture and everything. Yeah, that's pretty fucking dope.
Yeah, it was a big moment. And
yeah. I see experiences like that, like make it, that's the kind of shit you look back on. It's like, holy fuck, like I did that, it's kind of cool. Like the shit that we've been able to do, it's so much more than like I ever thought we would do. You know what I mean? Like I'm at the point now where everything's just bonus. Like I never thought I could do any of this. Like, are you kidding me? Go on stage and perform? What the fuck? Like old me's probably like, who the there's zero chance.
I know
how shy I was growing up and stuff. Even now, like, I still get quiet and people think I'm probably just, like... People probably think I just, like, have an ego and shit. Like, oh, he's not talking to anybody. He's like, no, I'm shy, motherfucker. I'm quiet. Like, I keep to myself
Until I get on the mic.
Yeah, well, then, dude, that's where the fucking switch goes, you know what I mean? Yeah. But like, now it just depends, like, what I'm around. I feed off the energy I'm around. If I'm around people that are, like, getting lit, then I'm loud, then whatever, right? Otherwise, I'm keep to myself. I'm quiet. I'm just, like, super chill, like, whatever, you know what I mean? Like... But if someone comes and talks to me, then I'll just chop it up with them. You know what I mean? I just look mad all the time, so no one fucking like, oh fuck this guy, man.
I'll tell one more story. This one's super.
No, not one more, man. We got lots of time.
Okay, whatever. But anyway, this one's dope as fuck. So literally, again, working with emotions. I got a lot of big blueprint shows. I was only doing headliners, the big ones. So I had the Raekwon show.
Yeah,
that I did. It was my Me Too. Yeah, I had my Dreams. A couple, can't remember who else was on it. And anyway, so it's packed house. I'm in there. I was hungry. I'm like so I bring my mom. My mom comes to a lot of my shows. Yeah, my mom's been to probably more shows than anyone. She's
always
like my biggest fan.
Man. Your mom is fucking dope.
So my mom, she's
like the nicest lady. So remember coming to your house and just like talking to her for like hours. Like I don't even know where you were. Me and your mom were just like talking. She's always been super nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And so it's Raekwon show. It's like packed. I'm really busy. Everyone's there. Like. I didn't have a lot of time to even socialize. I'm kind of practicing. I'm in the moment. I'm my head's like I'm in work mode
for sure. Yeah.
And my mom's there, and so she's like, "Are you hungry?" She's like, I'm like, "Yeah, I'm really hungry."
Yo, why did you sound exactly like her when you said that?
I'm really hungry. Mom. She's like, "Okay, I'll be back." So so literally no shit. So she goes about like 20 minutes. Like I'm about to go on. So she leaves. This is true story. She leaves.
Yeah.
Venue. Yeah. Like I couldn't even get in with a lighter in my pocket. I'm a performer.
Right.
They like searched me to like. Yeah. I couldn't get. They're like nope. Like they're pretty strict. They're on me.
Yeah.
And I'm a performer for the night. I got VIP pass and everything for Raekwon. Yeah. I'm going on in 10 minutes. Can you just search me faster, please?
Up. Yeah.
Right. So my mom goes out to get me food. She knows I'm hungry.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let her in the door. She's like, I got Donairs for my son. He's rapping in 10 minutes. He's hungry. I have to get in right now.
Yo.
Right now. So she gets in. They let her in past the door with two of the biggest Donairs. There could have been knives in these things. Like, so my mom sneaks in 2 Donairs into this giant venue. Not only does that, so she makes it somehow by the grace of God. She couldn't sit down and she was complaining. So she I guess she went and sat down. She's in the VIP section now. Yeah, because she sat down and she saw seats.
Making herself at home.
And then someone's like, "Oh, you can't sit here." And she's like, "Oh, my son's on stage right now. He's a rapper. My dreams." And then they were literally gonna kick her out, and then some guys like, "Oh no, she can sit here."
Yeah.
So I'll explain. So I perform. I'm like, where's my mom? I can't find her. I just get off the stage. I think I was so worried where my mom was.
Yeah.
There's an iconic picture of Pat Status Crew, and my buddy C-Mac, my producer.
Yeah.
They have a picture with Raycon. I didn't get one with Raycon because I'm out hunting for my mom somewhere. I don't know where she is. I don't know. So I'm like, I'm more concerned. I'm like, I could be chopping it up with Raycon backstage.
Right.
I'm more worried about my mom and how my mom is now. So I'm out searching this 500. I can't find her.
Yeah.
I'm like, so then I think I give up. Like, well, fuck it. Just go in the VIP for a sec. Just chill. There she is sitting there.
Yeah.
She's sitting right beside Mark Emery talking politics.
After
he got out of jail from the States.
What the
so
fuck?
She's like, yeah, fucking the government? They're no good. He's like, She has no idea. She's talking with like the Prince of Pot about government issues after he got released from jail. I'm like, Mom. I'm like, dude, like this is Mark. She's like, hi, Mark. She still has no idea.
No idea.
No idea. It's her and her wife, the Asian lady.
Wild.
So my mom is in the VIP section, sitting with 2 Donairs, waiting for me in the VIP, chopping it up with fucking Mark Emery about politics. And not the good kind. She's bashing him.
Yeah.
And he's just listening, like, yep.
Yeah, that sounds like
yeah, that might sound right. She has no idea. And my mom, like, all she talks about is
the
politics and the government.
I've been that guy.
Oh my god, it's like one of my favorite stories. It's like
that's so funny.
She has
just
no idea.
VIP in the Raycon show with 2 Donairs.
My mom's
not knowing what's going on.
No, my mom is.
You're running around the venue trying to find her.
My mom's chopping it up with Mark Emery in the VI with my Donairs.
Yo, that's so funny.
Like, has no idea. Like, it's just so funny to me. I'm like, Mom. I'm like, okay, let's go. I'm like, goodbye, Mr. Emery. I'm like, oh, he knows I know. Like, have a good day, Mark. Like,
yeah, right.
I'm like, I laughed after. I'm like, Mom, you literally like that guy just got out of jail for like serving 5 years for sending seeds to the States. He's called the Prince of Pot. She's like, no kidding.
No kidding.
I'm like, yeah, oh my god. He's only like, he's like an international drug dealer, apparently, according to the States. But I mean, it's in my opinion, I don't, it's none of my business, but the story is funny.
Rowdy. It's so funny. It's so fucking random. Like people just show up.
I couldn't even get bubblegum into this event. And my mom got
Donairs.
Yeah. And these were honkers.
Yeah.
Like, I was so hungry I ate it in the VI.
Yeah, why not? Might as well, you're already there.
I was so nervous because I was so busy. It was such not nervous.
She's just like, here's your Donair. Like, what the
2
fuck
Donairs.
is happening?
I was like, my god, like you can't make this shit up. Like that's just like unbelievable funny behind the scenes stuff.
That is crazy.
I can say so many, but that one of my mom, like,
yeah,
I don't even know, like. Just her saying like that. Oh, my son's the rapper.
He's on stage right now.
The good-looking host is like, sure. Because I remember her at the door, but then she probably got. She's like, oh, she's not lying. She's really not lying.
What are the chances?
Like the one time, like this little.
Definitely, because people say like, oh, I'm buddies with whoever's performing, whatever. It's like, no, you're not. You ran into him once.
So
it was
funny.
like, he's your buddy.
Packed event, like.
Yeah, with the Rayquan, like, of course you guys are walking.
It was packed.
Like,
it was packed.
Yeah. That's so funny.
But it's the funniest, the fun, and it's I don't have the picture. I think Patty might have it.
Yeah.
But it's just funny that the picture. I'm like the Rayquan show I'm opening for. I'm nowhere to be found, and it's my 2 dudes who I brought with me. They got the picture. I was a little envious, but the story and I knew what I was doing makes it funny for me, so I don't get upset or not that I would, but I'm like, oh, I wanted to. See him for it's so funny.
Yeah.
Now when I see the picture, I just laugh. It's like,
funny,
I just think of my mom wandering around with Donairs,
right?
trying to find me. He's like, my son's a rapper. She's like, they're all rappers. They're all rappers here, bitch.
It's funny she's in the background of the picture.
Oh, dude, I think
like, she's in the picture of the Rayquan, but you're not.
I am not. I think I'm not even joking. I think somehow she got into the VI too. I think she was like,
she was,
like I think she got into like
the actual,
so, like,
not just
she was like wandering around Rayquan asking for me. Have you seen my son? She's like, he's like, no. Like, son, my mom got in there. I'm pretty sure because like the bouncer saw her with me. I remember the one guy. So he like I don't know. It's hard to remember, but she was in the seating area. And like
that's so rowdy, dude. Holy fuck.
I know, right? It's like some Robin Williams shit right there, dude.
Yeah, that is, dude. I totally forgot about that.
I know.
That's
like,
some crazy shit.
Put that on your resume. First hip hop show had Robin Williams in it.
Williams, yeah.
You couldn't write it. You couldn't write one song if I was in it.
Yeah, exactly.
How about first show I had Robin Williams in it?
Right.
Like,
what are the chances? That shit's so rowdy.
I know. Like, isn't that insane? Thinking back, like.
Yeah. Dude, there's just so much. Like, how do we pack in like 18 years of this shit? That's like when people ask me this shit. It's like, how do I sum it up?
Even now, like we've been talking to.
Yeah, almost.
I don't even know. They haven't even scratched the surface.
We're not even at like Van City All Stars yet. We did 4 of them. We haven't even decided. Like, we haven't even come out how the first one even started, dude. Like.
Oh, man.
I feel like we're gonna have to do like this has to be like a series. We're gonna have to have a bunch of parts.
Part 6.
Maybe. I think this is already gonna be like 3 parts or like 2 parts.
God,
you know what I mean?
Have to chop this
We're gonna have to chop it up for sure. No one's gonna watch a 6-hour video.
Oh, not this long.
No, this will definitely have to be. This is definitely part 2.
Yeah, right. This part,
sure. Yeah. We might have to. We'll link up another day soon and like continue on. Because there's just so much. Because as we start, like we made notes for this shit, but it's like as we like talk about it, all these other things pop up. It's like, oh yeah, we did this show. Like Stone Temple, I didn't even think about that when we were talking about right?
I have the flyers.
I have the flyer
I have
too.
The actual tickets.
It was a small flyer like this, the yellow black one. You have the ticket. I don't know if I have the ticket.
And we did a show. I remember.
I have the flyer. D's on it with his hat. So he's the only person on the flyer, and he's got the
I remember that.
Yeah.
That's the picture. This one.
That one.
Wow, that's crazy.
He's the only one on the flyer. Like the only face of
it's
it.
a yellow flyer.
It's a yellow flyer. Yeah, it's a small one too. It's a mini one.
Yeah, I have it. I have it.
Yeah, I have one too. I had it on the mirror because it was my first show ever. So the house I grew up in. That's crazy.
I have it at my house.
That's pretty sick.
I do. That's crazy, eh? And then we did one too right before. I don't know if this was right before. It was at the Media Club, and that was the first time we did a show at Snack and Mr. Mess. They were called West Coast something.
Yeah.
It was Stroker, Mr. Mess, and Bones, and there was Snack on the night.
Yeah.
And that was the first time. Me and Snack got to meet because we went to high school.
Yeah.
It was the first time. Because he's like, oh, you're in Keep 6. He's like, oh, you're Snack. I was like, we both know who each other was, but I didn't recognize or realize I was him. And I remember that being an iconic moment for me because I was like...
For sure. No, definitely.
It's all in that same like tiny time period.
Yeah. Because he was definitely doing his thing at that point. He was like up and coming and...
For sure.
He was like the next thing. He was becoming like the guy.
Yeah, he had that really awesome song, the rap game.
Yeah.
Rap game with Young Sin.
Yeah.
And that was his first. That was Snack's first big song.
And
it had like 300,000 views.
And that's like another guy who put in time and built his family stuff and made a fucking career out of it. You know what I mean? Like, see, that's the thing. Artists like that don't complain about this shit.
No, he never complains.
Never. I've never had a problem with like an artist who was established or became established like soon after. Like they were on their way or they were already there, but they've never complained about any of that shit. It's artists that like we're doing nothing or like not even don't have a name or anything. They're the ones that complain like, oh, I don't want to sell tickets. Like, all right, like what the fuck, like
yeah. No, and I
get it. Like once you get to a certain point, cool. But at the beginning, it's like, bro, like at least do. If you don't want to sell tickets, cool. Then make a name for yourself at least.
It's just like
do
a
something.
job. If I'm
Give
a
me
plumber,
a reason
I'll even do free plums. Like like. You get what I'm saying, though? Like, I'll even do... Because it's all about building your name and your brand at first. It's not about the money. It's about building that reputation. And then once you can get that to a point...
Because that's what I do.
Snowball effects. Because now, you know, exactly.
I make the artist the first time I work with them, maybe the first couple sell tickets for me. Once you can sell them, no problem. You're already established that you've already proven you can sell tickets for me. I'll give you a set rate. No problem. Easy. Yeah. A lot of artists that I have no problem giving a set rate, ask for tickets because they'll make more money that way.
Yeah.
Because if I give them a set rate, I'm like, that's it. I'll give you a set rate. Because then I'm gonna sell the tickets with your name because you're already like a little bit established, right?
Right. No, exactly.
But they're like they ask for tickets and it's like, okay, I'll give you tickets. And they end up probably making a lot more than what their set rate is. And you know, the thing is, if they do well, I'll even give them a bonus. I'll give them, like, extra money if they do it. Because if they put in the work and bring in a crowd, take more money then. I'll give them more than what they expected.
Yeah,
I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
It's just that putting in that work and having that respect and building the relationship. I feel like artists are lazy now. They don't want to do all that.
Oh, for sure. And they'll rather, even after one show or two, argue over like a couple tickets and like, or whatever, you know.
And it's just low-key, it's annoying for us because I'm on the work that we put in. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, that's what I mean. Like, and I get it from like, I'm not saying like, I'm not signing contracts like certain other people, but at the time back in the day, there's just no way around. You gotta work that. You gotta work up, you know.
Yeah.
Get your scene up, so
for sure. There's another story, but maybe I'll save it for the next one for sure because I want to talk a little bit about it. But yeah, we should probably wrap it for this because I feel like we can just talk for hours, bro. Like there's so much shit. Yeah. It's gonna be a lot. We're already like pushing 3 hours almost.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's crazy.
I love it.
Right?
Oh man,
of course.
It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for coming through.
For sure.
We're definitely gonna sit down again very soon
100%.
and fucking continue on. Definitely, like in the next, like maybe this week, maybe next week. Like, we'll do it soon
for sure.
So
we'll
we can
sit
continue.
down. We'll go over some music. We'll play a couple tracks.
Yeah. Well, I feel like we should do that separately because there's a lot of stuff to go into that with that, right? Because I want to sit down. We'll do like an introduction, like the introduction CD. Like we'll sit down and we'll maybe review that album after 20 years. Review the fucking first mixtape that we ever put out.
Oh Lord.
2005.
Is that crazy?
That's ridiculous.
I know. Now when you think about it, dude, motherfuckers haven't even been in the game 5 years.
Yeah,
we're
exactly.
Dropping shit in 2005.
Dude, we put that shit out and people were commenting like, I still have that mixtape.
I know, I see that. Brian Shaw,
it's like, yo, that's
an
nuts.
old buddy too. That's crazy.
Yeah. Even one of my friends like texted me. He's like, I remember that mixtape. Like that shit, like everybody was bumping that shit at like house parties and stuff. Yeah. Like everybody was, that's like an iconic mixtape.
That's what I'm saying.
At least within our circle or that family, everybody had it, man. Everybody, because we would do like house parties after that shit.
I know, that's
we would like playing poker and just like talking and the music would play in the background, right? Like we would always be doing that.
Faze in the building.
Yeah, everybody knew the words, everybody was bumping that shit, like that was before we were even performing. People were just bumping our shit at all the house parties and shit.
That's crazy.
Like, it was nuts at that time. That's why it was so easy to bring people out for the shows, because everybody already knew us. Before we even hit the stage, and we built a name within our fan base, within our group. So we had fans coming out right away. And a lot of those artists that were at our shows became artists.
Yeah.
Like, because they would come to our shows, they're like, hey, maybe we can do this too. You know what I mean? If Faze can do it, anybody can do it.
Well, there you have it, folks.
Facts. Facts, though. Yeah, man. All right, so it's probably part 1, 2. I don't know. We'll leave it to the editor to figure it out. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next episode. You want to leave them with anything before we continue on to the next?
Yeah, man. It's just been an honor to do music and meet you and
for sure
to just to be here and to be alive and to just to fucking be able to express and share these stories, to laugh even you and just to go over some shit, even like scratching. Sometimes when we talk about things, we both forget stuff. So to bring it up and talk, like we literally for people listening, we haven't really done this. We talk, me and Faze always talk, but we haven't sat down and really talked about this stuff, especially. Been very it's touchy because it's very emotional, but it's awesome and it was a crazy time of our life. But now we're older and we like to look back and it's all success. This has all been just stepping stones for us to get to where we are now, and it's fucking beautiful. And I wouldn't trade it for nothing, man.
Yeah, I feel the same way, man. I think you're just thinking about mixing that shit at Columbia Academy.
It's gold.
To everything we've done to sitting down right now, this is fucking.
You coming in my little cubicles, my 3x3 foot fishbowl.
How much, all the shit that stemmed from that one project. It's who would have thought at that point? Imagine we knew all that shit back then. This project's gonna lead to all this shit.
Literally, that was my first CD.
Yeah.
I did other stuff, but that was the first CD I put out, even before Keep Six stuff.
Yeah.
That was even mine.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I had tons of songs, but it never was like a full like an album that was properly put together. It was just tons of stuff. I was just a battle rapper.
Yeah.
I was battling kids. I didn't have a lot of stuff on wax. A freestyler.
Exactly.
So for us to do that and now to look back and be like even my first project and yours at the same time too. It's just crazy. Yeah. It's fucking crazy. It makes me smile.
Yeah, me too, man. It's definitely good memories. When I bumped that shit, I was like, yo, I was listening to it in the car earlier today. I was like, this is crazy. Like, some of the tracks are so funny. Dude, we'll play when we do that video. There's a skit that you did on there.
Oh, yeah, I know. And you're like, yeah, okay,
I was dying in the car. It's so fucking funny.
I'm like, yeah, okay,
it's
buddy.
So funny. You're like, welcome to Van City, Raindrop City, Ocean Production Studio. I'm like, what the fuck did he just say? I'm like, it was like the longest name.
That's
like,
why
Raindrop
I get
City Production, Ocean Video. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what?
Raindrop City, Ocean Production.
And then you're like talking shit about me the whole first like 30 seconds.
Oh my
and then
God.
you're like, oh, you put out a CD, I don't know, it's kind of whack though. I'm like, oh, Faze, yo, your album's sick, bro. Like, what
I forgot.
You're like, you can't drink in the fucking radio studio, bro. Like, in the radio studio? Like, what is he talking about? It was so funny. I'm like, I guess I'm doing the impossible then. You're like, yeah, okay, Faze. Anyways, we're going to keep it going. Like, it's so funny.
That's funny.
It's the funniest skit, bro. I was laughing out loud in the car. I'm like, this is what the fuck were we doing? Like, we literally probably just one take and just recorded that whole shit. It was so funny. Because I remember you talking shit about me in the beginning, and I'm like thinking, I'm probably standing right beside him while he's recording this.
I think
like, I'm right there.
I think I recorded that in one of the cubicles.
Yeah.
I think I did that part in a cubicle, because they had mics in there sometimes.
Yeah,
I think I did that.
Yeah.
I can't remember, but in my head, I think I did that.
Yeah.
And then
I feel like because we're both talking at the same time.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I think I was like right beside you, and then like because the whole part is you in the beginning, and then I come in and you can hear me like you can hear us like you moving over and me coming into the whole like we definitely did it at the same time, and we're going back and forth.
And you probably I think you were in the room.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure because you're like. You like opened the door and you were in the room. You pretend like you're coming in
the chair. There's no room at all.
Yeah, that was, and now I remember.
The cubicle's fucking tiny,
you were in this tiny cubicle.
It's like a chair and a desk. That's
and we did it in there.
Open the door all the way. I had to like slide in.
Oh
close it.
It's like fake coming in.
Yeah. Just to get the sound. Because we were doing like posts at like movies and shit. Remember?
I was doing that commercial, that card commercial. I do.
Oh yeah.
Remember? And I was doing that the same day. I was editing the card commercial.
I know. I remember I did posts for that insecticidal video. It's so funny, dude. It's still, I have an IMDb page and it's on there.
You got credits for it still? Oh, it's terrible.
I'm like, I never made an IMDb page, but if you look up my full name, it's there. I'm like, how did I even get this? Like, I never signed up to IMDb, but it's there. It says insecticidal, like, post-production audio. Like, I have a movie credit for that for no reason.
Oh,
I was there for like an hour. Crumpled up some leaves or some shit, did some footsteps. I don't know what it was. It was so funny, though.
Those jokes.
Alright, yeah, we're gonna with that. See, I'm saying this shit just keeps like snowballing, man. The more we like talking, it's like there's so much shit. 18 years, bro. We can't sum it up. We'll sign off with that one though. Thank you guys for watching. If you made it through this whole thing, fucking dope. Salute to you guys. Make sure you like and subscribe. We're definitely gonna have a bunch more parts, and we'll get that shit up. Thank you, brother, for coming through.
Bro,
Mike Dreams in the fucking building.
Faze,
Natural talent. That's what it is, man. Hit you guys very soon. Peace.
Peace out. One love.